Hello everyone and welcome to Thinking with Mathematical Models 5.1. Our learning target for 5.1 through 5.3 here will be, we want to begin to understand how ratio and proportion can be used to figure a likelihood of something happening. And then we want to understand the difference between categorical and numerical variables. In 5.1, our ACEs begin on page 119 and we'll be doing 1 through 14 and 16. Don't worry, 1 through 14 is only one question each, not an A, B, C, D, and they're all multiple choice there, so shouldn't be too bad at all. Page 113 of your book as we get started here with Thinking with Mathematical Models, Investigation 5. We're dealing with roller coasters again in steel frames and wooden frames, and says that now most roller coasters are made of steel frame, even though wood is more popular. There was a census that there's 174 total wood frame roller coasters like in the world, and 129 of those are in North America. Well, the difference between wood and wood and steel would be a categorical variable, and for your ACEs, that's going to be what you're going to be determining whether something is categorical or numerical. Categorical, as I put here, is answers to a survey. Numerical would be counting, something mathematic where you can add, subtract, count, multiply, divide, work with numbers that way. So that's what you're going to need to know for your ACEs in 5.1 for most of them anyway. And the other thing we're doing is beginning to work with two-way tables here. And you'll see we have two columns of categories here, whether it's wood or steel and what the people prefer. And then we have two different age groups. Age of under 40 years old or equal to 40 years old, and this is their preferences, and then those older than 40 years of age and their preferences here. It says, does it look like younger and older riders have the same preferences in roller coaster type? So it might be kind of difficult for you to look at the first time and determine that, so we're going to work through this a little bit. I give you handouts that will have this table on it, and what we want to do is fill this table out. So here with age less than 40 years, we have 45 that prefer wood, 60 that prefer steel. That's going to give us a total of 105. So we would want to fill that in for our table. Okay, you would want to do the same thing for those over 40 years old, and then we have total down here on the bottom. So we want to add up our total wood here and our total steel and our total. And then we want to now determine the ratios. So a ratio is the part, a way to show that a favorable outcome, which in this case would be prefer wood. So we would put that at the top of our ratio, okay? And then we put that over, or put a colon behind it, the total number that is available for that portion. So for all of our survey people that were surveyed that are under 40 years old or equal to, that totals 105. So our ratio is going to be 45 out of 105. And yes, if you want to, you could simplify that and make it a smaller number if that's something that you would prefer to work with. So we're going to complete this table and then ask these questions or answer these questions. It says younger riders are 3 times as likely as older riders to prefer wood frame coasters. So you have to look at that. Yeah, there's 3 times as many people here, but as we do our total across, our total of people that are older than 40 years is much lower, so that doesn't necessarily mean they're 3 times as likely to like it. It means there's 3 times as many. So be careful of whether it's asking you as likely or as many, because when it says as likely, it means our percentage, which you could get by dividing this ratio. 45 divided by 105 would give you a percentage, and then 15 divided by whatever the total winds up being over here, that gives you that percentage. And you would compare percentages when you're looking at as likely, because once you get it into percentage, then they're both walking on the same ground there. So anyway, fill out the table, answer those questions, and then there's more questions back here on part B. And remember that in math, of, when it says of, that means multiplication. So 3/4 of 80 means 3/4 times 80, and that's going to give you 60. So some of these questions that say of or as likely and whatever, we need to be thinking about what math we need to apply there. Please let me know if you have some stuck points here, have some questions. I want to help you through this and make sure you understand the terminology correctly. So stop me in class if you need help there. Finally, again, our ACEs for 5.1 are 1 through 14 and 16. Hope this is helpful. Please stop me and let me know if you have questions on this and how to complete these tables and interpret them. Look forward to seeing you in class.